The sky was dimming, streetlights casting a yellow glow over a quiet suburban road. The pavement was still damp, puddles from the earlier rain reflecting the flickering silhouettes of bicycles racing down the empty sidewalk. The air felt eerie, cold and uncertain, blending peace with a vague sense of looming danger. Jake, a senior university student, was walking briskly along his usual route. He was a tall, strong black man, with sharp eyes that concealed a calm, unshakable resolve. Few people knew that beyond his academic excellence, Jake was a former U.S. Marine, hardened by intense military trials, and secretly a black belt in Jitsu, a skill he never spoke of. Suddenly, 3 bicycles sped up from behind, tires screeching on the wet pavement. 3 young men approached, their faces filled with scorn, their eyes dripping with hostility and prejudice. Kyle, the leader, yelled out mockingly, "Hey, black boy, where do you think you're going? This ain't your turf." Jake didn't turn around. His eyes remained focused, his steps steady under the glimmer of the street lights. That silence alone was enough to enrage them further. Kyle stormed ahead, his face red with anger, his voice low and threatening. "I'm talking to you, boy. Looking to start something with us? Get out of here before I teach you a lesson you won't forget." The second guy sneered arrogantly. Without hesitation, he pushed his bike forward, aiming to knock Jake down. The squeal of the tires pierced the air as the bike sped toward him. But Jake was ready. In a flash, his instincts as a trained warrior kicked in. With precise grace, he dodged and spun, landing a swift kick to the bike's front wheel. The young man lost balance and crashed hard onto the wet pavement, letting out a painful cry. The other 2 froze, shocked, eyes wide with fear. Jake stepped forward, his voice was calm yet commanding. "I don't seek trouble, but threaten me, and you invite disaster." Kyle snapped back with a mocking laugh. "Go ahead and act tough, black boy. Let's see what you've really got." Jake said nothing. He advanced, his stance sharp, focused. Each punch, each kick was a display of refined skill, sharpened by war and years of discipline. His moves were ruthless, yet controlled, like gunfire in motion. The attackers quickly lost their ground, overwhelmed within minutes. Heavy breathing, the clatter of metal on pavement, and cries of frustration echoed through the night. The once quiet street now trembled with chaos. At last, Jake stopped. He stared straight into Kyle's eyes, cold, unwavering, and filled with disdain. "Listen, skin color isn't a reason to threaten anyone. What you need to learn isn't fear, it's respect." The 3 young men stood stunned and battered. Then, after a moment of hesitation, they scrambled back onto their bikes and rode off in silence, their confidence shattered. The street grew still again. Jake remained standing, a living symbol of strength, dignity, and unshakable self-respect. But it wasn't over. From a shadowed corner of the street, a man stepped out. Middle-aged, sharp-eyed, he was known as a local gang leader. He had been watching the entire time, lips curled in a calculated smile. "This isn't over, Jake," he muttered ominously. "You've made enemies now." Jake didn't turn around, but a flash of awareness lit his eyes. Tonight was just the beginning. Never judge a person by their skin color or outward appearance. True strength doesn't lie in muscles, but in unbreakable spirit and self-respect. Yet sometimes, fairness and dignity must be defended by our own power.